Hey, this is Spike Chartel coming at you with something a little different. I got some new software. Gonna try this out. Got another computer going. It's not fully built up yet, but I think I'm still waiting on some parts. But with what I got, I think this will work for what I'm trying to do with this today. We're gonna look at some grade A cancer. That's what we're gonna do. So it's we're gonna look at a Vox video, so you already know. Anyway, let's bring this up. This is about the "this is fine" bias in news media, which I'm kind of wondering because it seems like most news stories since the inauguration have been, kind of like driving people to think that this is the end of the world or something. But let's see. I mean, maybe they're onto something.
It's hard to overstate how bonkers the news cycle is right
Absolutely.
now. Republicans are trying to ram through a train wreck healthcare bill without any hearings.
That doesn't sound familiar at all. 2010, well, whatever. ACH, whatever.
Process is an embarrassment. This is nuclear grade bonkers.
The White House is threatening the Attorney General to
I love the lines. That's fucking awesome.
derail the Russia investigation.
So not only does he call Jeff Sessions beleaguered, he says he is not doing his job.
And Trump is actively asking
This motherfucker is orange as fuck. Like, did he just, roll around in Cheeto dust before he got up on the podium?
if he's allowed to pardon himself if it turns out he committed a crime. Any one of those stories represents a fundamental breakdown in political norms. But if
What the fuck are political norms? Okay, for one thing. The last 40 years, it's been pretty much people get elected, they fuck over one party gets elected, they fuck over the public doesn't like that, so they elect the other party, that party fucks over the public, they don't like that, then they elect the other party forgetting why they voted for the first part, then they just keep going back and forth. It's like this vicious fucking circle of stupidity. That's American politics.
you turn on CNN or your local news channel right now, things will probably look kind of normal.
Let's discuss all of this with our CNN political commentators. When Jeff Sessions wakes up, what is he thinking when he hears this?
This is not your typical president.
Even boring.
The Senate is trying for a Hail Mary on this health care bill. What is the latest? We expect to vote in an hour. Do we know if they have the votes?
And that's because our news media isn't great at conveying when politicians have truly gone off the rails.
And when exactly, what, you think with Trump that just went off the rails with Trump? Get the fuck out of here with this shit. It's been off the rails for a while. Seriously. Look at the fucking bank bailouts. Alright? That wasn't off the fucking rails. They decided to give the banks that caused the financial crisis a blank check. And by the way, that was the Democrats as well, not the Republicans. And that was Obama as well, not Trump. With him in the truck, that was pretty funny.
Look at some of the most well-respected journalists on TV. Anderson Cooper, Lester Holt, Wolf Blitzer. They
Respected.
all kind of talk the same way. They're unemotional, even-keeled, and unfazed by the stories they're covering. You could watch Wolf Blitzer on mute and not know if he's talking about the Kardashians or a nuclear missile launch.
But you'd be pretty sure that he'd be blaming Trump for it.
The norm in American media is that journalists shouldn't get flustered or outraged or even emotional about the political disputes they're covering. They should
Well, duh!
present the facts, let panelists argue about it, and then move on.
And what's so bad about that? The whole point of media reporting, okay, reporter takes a story, presents the facts, okay, to the people. The people, most of whom have little hamster wheels running in their head because that's about all they're capable of, are supposed to take that information and decide for themselves what's going on. Okay, now I know a lot of people don't do that. Number one, you're talking about fucking cable news network. Nobody fucking watches cable news anymore. All right? You're talking like nation of 320 million people. Okay? Only about 50 million Okay, 320 million, you figure about 75 million, it's actually more like 73 or 74, 75 million are, you know, minors, they're kids, whatever. So you got a good, like, still 240 million people, 230, 240 million people, okay? Only about 50 million of them watch cable news. Everyone else either doesn't give a fuck, or they're getting their news from the internet, or they're getting their news from social media. So, I mean, they're talking about, you know, CNN, but it's not even really relevant as a media outlet. Neither is MSNBC or Fox News for that matter. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's continue.
All right, I want to thank everybody coming up.
And in normal political disagreements, that's fine. But in the Trump era, it's made political journalism feel totally inadequate.
Okay, so just because we elect an idiot president, because, you know, that totally didn't fucking happen in 2000 as well. Just because we elect a complete moron president, now all of a sudden the news media shouldn't be unbiased, shouldn't be what am I looking for? Shouldn't be even killed and calm. They should be running around like Chicken Little, screaming about how the sky is falling. This seems like the gist or feeling that I'm getting from this video. Anyway.
Take the recent Senate healthcare vote. Republicans voted to consider a bill without knowing what was in it. They
Yeah, like that never fucking happens.
tried to pass it in the dead of night with no committee hearings, and the bill was so bad they made Paul Ryan promise not to pass it, hoping they'd come up with something better before it was too late.
Yeah, they didn't want to pass it because it was a horrible fucking bill. And okay, yes, Republicans run on this whole idea that they want to repeal the Affordable Care Act, or some people like to call it Obamacare. But let me drop a little reality on you leftist Chicken Littles. All right? The Republicans are not going to repeal ACH. They're going to talk a good game, and they're going to talk a good game because they want to appease their base. But at the end of the day, I ain't going to say all Republican senators would vote against repealing it, but most will. And the reason is because if they repeal ACH, or the Affordable Care Act, they're committing political suicide. Because as soon as they do it, as soon as people go off health insurance, guess what? People are going to be pissed. People are going to be pissed, and they're going to vote these fuckers out. The Republicans know this. The Republicans, let me tell you why the Republicans are in control and why they have been. Because at this point, the Republicans don't have to do jack shit to win. They can just sit back and do nothing and just let the Democrats self-destruct. And that's it. They don't have to pass anything. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is just sit there and shut up and not say a fucking thing, because the Democrats will win the election for the Republicans every fucking time. But again, that's another video.
That's a gross hijacking of the legislative process. It's gambling with the lives of millions of people. Even
That's a bit hyperbolic.
conservative commentators called it disgraceful. But on
Well, yeah, it is. That's why they're not going to pass it. They don't want to commit political suicide.
CNN, business as usual.
What is the strategy on healthcare?
What's amazing, we still...
So let me get this straight. CNN should act like the sky is falling over a bill that Republicans aren't going to pass because Republicans want to get reelected. Am I right here? Is this what you're going for?
still don't know if there are 50 Republican votes.
Can the Republicans come up with something that gets 50 votes?
Can they?
No freaking out.
If the bill is as bad as Senate Republicans
There's no reason to freak out.
say, then they don't have to worry about House Republicans deciding to pass it.
Don Lemon just doing his thing.
I mean, when you say
So what, should he like be running around talking about the sky is falling like ISIS has just invaded and is beheading liberals in the street?
The skinny repeal makes it sound like a diet plan. They
I mean,
want to
they
drop
want-
the weight
yeah,
of this
yeah.
bill.
The same thing happened after Trump started looking to get rid of Jeff Sessions and Robert Mueller, which would effectively trigger a full-scale constitutional crisis.
Wow. Okay, you're a leftist. If you're watching this, if you happen to be watching this, I am a centrist libertarian. Jeff Sessions getting shit canned, or the possibility that Jeff Sessions gets shit canned, should be something that makes both of us very happy. Okay, why are you like freaking out because he's going to fire Jeff Sessions? Like, for real. I mean, you should be happy that he's going to get rid of this fucking dinosaur. It doesn't matter why. I mean, he's a bad fucking person to have as Attorney General. He wants to ramp the drug war back up and lock more people up. That's something you should be against.
These outlets treated it like just personal drama from the Trump White House.
The escalating drama between President Trump and the Justice Department.
Another juicy scandal to let commentators argue over.
With friends like these, who needs enemies? Donald Trump is a bit of a bully.
He is who he is.
That's the Popeye defense. I am what I am.
Yeah, I am what I am. I'm a
Okay, that's actually pretty fucking funny. I am's what I am's. I mean, could you imagine like Donald Trump as Popeye? That shit would be hilarious. Anyone watching that, you should that knows how to draw or do like cartoons, you should totally draw a cartoon of that. That shit would be funny as hell.
blunt-spoken New Yorker.
This is Trump being Trump.
This is what normalization actually looks like.
Now, this kind of comes into something that I've noticed since January 20th, and that is a lot of people on the left talking about normalization this and normalization that, and, you know, this isn't normal, as if we haven't ever elected an idiot president. You know, what was that? Let's see. I'm pretty sure we did. Let's see. Did we elect an idiot? Oh yeah, we did elect an idiot president in 2000. And let's see. 2004? Oh yeah, we re-elected him. Yeah, so why is this like, why should we be running around again freaking out about the sky hauling? I mean, to be honest, the way that people that still support the Democratic Party, which why you would still support the Democratic Party at this point as a thinking person is beyond me, but the way that they act about this, it reminds me a lot of like the Tea Party people back in 2008 who were freaking out about how Obama was going to, you know, implement communism and make everyone convert to Islam and send people to FEMA camps. But now it's now the left is taking it as everyone's going to have to be Christian. We're going to send Muslims and Mexicans to concentration camps. And by concentration camps, I don't mean like nice little camps where people learn how to, where like Muslims and Mexicans with ADHD learn how to cope, but like concentration camps more like 1930s Germany, 1940s Germany. And that's really what they're acting like. They're acting like this guy is fucking Hitler. And number one, okay, yes, keep in mind Hitler was a very evil man. Trump isn't that charismatic, though. He really isn't. Like, I mean, because the thing is, if you look at the history of Hitler, and that's a whole other video, but basically, the German people liked him. Like, very few people disliked him. Trump, on the other hand, ain't really that many people care for him. He just, basically, he scared people less than Hillary Clinton, myself included. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted third party. I voted for Johnson, but to be honest, he scares me less than Clinton, because Clinton, she wanted to start World War III over fucking Syria. That doesn't seem smart. But anyway, let's keep going.
Journalists feel compelled to treat every news story like the ones that came before it.
Not official.
Because they are exactly the same, and that's how fucking journalists are supposed to cover shit.
Until the gavel pounds. And again, until this gavel comes down, it's not official.
They just can't admit that something abnormal is happening. Think of those
Because nothing abnormal is fucking happening.
people who ignore hurricane evacuation warnings.
What do you mean you're not leaving?
Really? Okay.
Well, I'm hoping it's not going to be as serious as they're saying.
And it's important to recognize this as a form of bias. Call it normalcy bias. And that normalcy bias ends up making for misleading news coverage. A huge part of the way that we process news is...
Normalcy bias? Okay, y'all wonder, Democrats, y'all wonder why you lose elections? Shit like this. Y'all keep making up fucking shit. And I don't know.
By nonverbal cues. How a story is framed and delivered and compares to every other news.
And come to think of it, okay, this is CNN we're talking about, right? This is the media outlet who threatened to dox someone for making a fucking GIF of Donald Trump during the days when he was in WWE or whatever the fuck it was when Donald Trump was a part of it, that they threatened to dox this guy for making a GIF of him knocking someone out with the CNN logo over their head. And you're saying that they're not biased enough against Trump? They're threatening to fucking dox people for making fun of them. They're threatening to dox people for making jokes about Trump beating them up or whatever, which it's not really serious, but...
Story. So when Anderson Cooper is laughing during a segment about Trump derailing Mueller's investigation, audiences perceive that it's not a big deal.
Because they know it's not really that big a deal. I mean, worst case scenario, Trump's in office till 2024. Worst case scenario. And then he's gone. He goes to his fucking resort and spends the rest of his days golfing and whatever.
That this is normal. When a segment about Trump pardoning himself looks and sounds like every other segment, it's...
And that is weird. I will grant you that's kind of a new one. And I don't really know what to say about that. I do know that a lot of people are trying to pin shit on him just because of who he is. Maybe he feels like he's backed into a corner and that's why he's asking this stuff. But it is, it's a little weird. I mean, because, you want to sit here and say, well, if he's not guilty of anything, then what does he have to worry about? That's the kind of shit that people say to people that get roughed up by the police and get fucked by the justice system. We all know that the justice system fucks people, right? And not saying that Trump is innocent or guilty of anything that he's accused of, but, I mean, let's be honest here. You have an FBI who doesn't like him. You have intelligence agencies that don't like him. They're trying to find any reason they can to fuck him. And, I mean, he might be guilty of this shit that he's being accused of. I don't know. I don't think the Russia shit has any fucking bearing. But there are other things. But anyway,
Easy to assume that everything is fine. When TV anchors are just casually updating you on the status of the healthcare vote, they're not conveying how dangerous what happened is.
Certainly some...
Because it isn't dangerous. But anyway, you know what? I'm going to cut it here because time, I think, is getting kind of long on this. Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button. I'm going to put a link to the video that we're watching here in the description below. If you want to watch all of this cancer, we got through most of it. Anyway, may the pounce be with you. Peace out. Good night, everyone.